Hey everybody, I'm Emily and welcome back to Mindfully Trading. In this video today, I'm going to share with you an exclusive insight into my trading plan that I'm going to use with my prop firm challenge with the prop firm, the 5%ers. If you're not familiar, the 5%ers are a prop firm whereby you carry out a trading challenge. If you pass the challenge, then you can get access to trading a funded trading account which is funded by the 5%ers. I do have a link to their website in the description below if you want to check them out, and I've also created a separate video which talks a little bit more about the 5%ers, so I'll include a link to that above for you. So let's jump onto the computer and explore my trading plan. Okay guys, I have broken my trading plan into a few different sections and we're going to go through each section step by step. So this trading plan is for a swing-based trading strategy, which focuses primarily on using price action to read the markets and place the trades. For the strategy, I'm going to be using the 4-hourly time frame only. So I know that quite a lot of strategies may use multiple time frames, but for this strategy, I'm purely using one time frame, and that is the 4-hour chart. In terms of market, I'm going to be focusing purely on the Forex market, and I'm going to be including all of the majors and the minors, the crossovers for those pairs. I'm not obviously going to be trading every single pair every week, but I'm going to look at all of those pairs to see if there are any setups that match my strategy. And for the setups themselves, I'm going to be carrying out my weekly watch list where I create my watch list of pairs that I focus on for that week, and then obviously manage it and keep an eye on it throughout the week, either adding to it or taking away if pairs are matching up with my trade plan and my strategy. For the analysis, I'm purely using technical analysis, analysing the chart using price action, so I'm not going to be using any indicators at all for this. So what is the strategy itself that I'm using to place my trades? The strategy utilises market structure, and I'm primarily going to be following the trend. So I'm going to keep it pretty simple. I'm looking for the highs and the lows to identify the trend. I'm looking for market structure and market behaviour. And what I'm basically going to be doing is looking for a suitable place to get into a trade following the trend using a pullback. Now, to gauge where that pullback might line up for an entry, I'm going to be using either a reaction leg measurement or a last swing broken measurement, which I do use for my strategy, and I'm going to be talking a little bit more about those on the charts later in this video. But first, let's just continue through the trading plan. For the stop loss, I'm going to be using a hard stop loss. It's very important to manage the risk on the account, and I'm going to be putting the stop loss in a place that matches up with the market structure. And similarly with the profit target, I'm going to be using a hard profit target of at least 2R so that we have a positive profit loss ratio. And I'm going to utilise the pitchfork to gauge the target for profit. So it is going to link with market structure as well. Now let's have a little look at risk management for the strategy. Risk management is super important, especially for prop firms, because they have such tight rules that you have to respect to avoid blowing up your account. So it's really important to utilise risk management in your trading plan. So just to reiterate, with the 5%ers, it is a $40,000 challenge. And from that challenge, I'm going to be starting with a balance of $10,000. If I pass the challenge, then I get access to the full $40,000 account. Now with the 5%ers, they give you a target of 6% on the account, which equates to $600. And they give you a max loss on the account of 4% or $400. So they're quite tight in terms of your max loss and the target that you have to both respect and achieve in order to pass the challenge. And just for the record, they give you 6 months to do this. So they do give you a lot of time, which is one of the attractive features of the 5%ers. It takes away the pressure of deadlines by giving you a lot more time to complete these targets. So my question here was, how do I calculate what I'm going to risk per trade based on those figures? Because my usual risk per trade is 1%, but if I'm going to risk 1% per trade for this challenge, then if I have 4 consecutive losers, which from backtesting I know can happen, I've blown up my account. So risking 1% is just not going to work for the 5%ers. So I worked out what is the best risk to use per trade, and if 4% is the max loss that we're working with here, I worked out that if we risk 0.25% per trade, it's going to give me 16 max losses that I can work with before I'd hit that max loss of 4%. Now I know from backtesting that it's unlikely I'm going to have 16 consecutive losers in a row, but 16 does give me a little bit of breathing space if the market is against me, or if I have a series of red trades, then it's going to give me a little bit of room before I reach that max loss that I feel quite confident with. So from working that out, I'm quite happy to risk 0.25% per trade. So just to clarify, one risk or one R is equal to 0.25% for me for this challenge only. Let's take that one step further and look at a few targets for the challenge. So if I'm risking 0.25%, I calculated that we need to make 24R in order to reach the 6% target. So that could be a series of 12 winning trades if I win 2R per trade. So 24R, let's divide that by 6 months, which is the time we have to do the challenge, gives 4R per month, or equals 1R per week. And breaking it down in this manner, for me, just makes these goals a lot more achievable, because I know that I can easily make 1R per week. I can most likely make more than that, but at a minimum, 1R per week is achievable, 4R per month is achievable, and that makes this target of 24R in 6 months achievable. So for example, to reach that target, I could simply take one winning trade, which makes 2R, and take one losing trade in 1 week to equal 1R. So these are quite realistic. I'm not aiming really high with these. I'm not over trading. These are realistic figures, a realistic plan to follow to be able to keep with risk management and hopefully to reach that goal at the end of the 6 months. Now that we've explored my trading plan and my risk management in detail, I'm going to share with you a basic strategy that I'm going to follow for this. So let's jump back onto the charts. Okay guys, so I've used the backtesting feature here to just go back in time. I've picked a random currency pair, so I've picked CAD yen, and as you can see we're on the 4-hourly time frame. And this is just going to be a really quick clip just to show to you the process I'm going to be using for the strategy to calculate a trade. So right here, what I've identified is market structure. So from this section we were coming down, we made a new lower high here, we broke this previous low here, making a new low. So I'm just going to mark this because this is the most recent low in the market. And this level here was the previous level of pullback that we had. This is where the sellers pushed the market down to create this low. Now from this point here, we pushed up, we retested this level here, but we didn't carry on breaking this low. We actually got a lot of momentum to the upside and pushed higher. So from this level here, I can do two things for my strategy. I can wait for this trend to resume, forming a pullback, moving higher, and then use this measurement of pullback to gauge an entry for a buy order later. Or as part of my trading plan, I can look for an entry using the LSB, which is the last swing broken. Well, we know that this push down here was the last swing that got broken back up to the upside. So I'm going to use my tool here to measure the length of the last swing from the lower high point to the new low here, because that swing got broken, so I'm going to apply that to the new high here. And as the market's selling off, what I'm interested in is to see if it pulls back to this level here. If it does, and then if it forms some support, a green candle, then I'll be looking to get in on an entry. There we go, so it's tapped the bottom there. We've got a nice pin bar, meaning that it's starting to reject that level. And we've got a nice green candle here at this level. Also coincides with the structure point here. So I'm going to place a target forecast at this level. As I said before, we're going to use hard stop losses. It's going to be underneath market structure, which is this point here. So I'm going to set my stop, add a few pips just to give a little bit of distance there. So let's make that 65. And for a target, my target's going to be a break of the high, because this is swing trading. We're trading the swings of the market. Now, as you can see, that's 294, so I'm simply going to make that 3R here, which matches up with my minimum target of 2R for profit. There we go. So I'm triggered into the trade. That effectively would have been a buy limit. So I would have set that in my broker, and now I'm tapped into this trade. Let's see what happens. So it's testing that level a little bit. And we're starting to push a bit higher here. If we break that high, I will go to break even. There we go. So my trade will be at break even just to manage the risk on the account, because we've pushed up here, had a little pullback, broken this high. And let's see if we reach a target. There we go. So I would have been into this trade the 17th of November and would have held it for a couple of weeks, but it would have reached my 3R target. And that's it. That is a quick example of my strategy that I'm going to follow for this trading plan. If you want to see some more examples of this swing trading strategy using the 4-hourly time frame, I have created a separate video where I backtest. I think I take about 10 trades and I talk about it just like this in more detail, so it's a longer video. I'll include a link to that above so you can check that out. If you like the sound of the prop firm, the 5%ers for yourself, if you are also a swing trader or you're looking for a prop firm that gives you more time, more flexibility to reach those goals, as I said, I've included a link below in the description, so be sure to check out the 5%ers. Definitely recommend them. If you've enjoyed the video, be sure to hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe below and click that bell notification. And I'll catch you in my next video. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.